Hello, me again. Welcome to part 2 of how I'm actually going to get my life back from the big bad social media monster. This is a work in progress. Some of the stuff that I am currently trying and working on may or may not work. You know, usual disclaimer stuff. I'm just trying my best. I'm just trying my best. If this video has come across your algorithm before part 1 and you're interested, I talk about my problematic relationship with social media from like 13 years old all the way through school, all the way through university, unemployment, employment, and why I'm trying to stop. I will link that up here. And now let's just get into the list of things I'm going to try and do to curb this problematic habit. So number 1, the first most important thing I have finally made peace with, deleting the apps from my phone, because obviously I have demonstrated that I cannot be trusted. I cannot physically control myself from bypassing every method of app blocking, so I just have to delete it. It has to be gone. I have to have zero access from my phone, which has been enlightening to see how much my screen time has gone down. So even with all the methods of blocking it, so like the downtime, the time limits, etc., I was still having like around 6 hours a day on my phone. And you can actually see the day, let me try and find it, you can actually see the day that I deleted the apps. It was Christmas Eve. Yeah, you can see the day that I deleted everything. Ta-da! This was an average day, Christmas Eve, 6 hours 39 minutes. In my defense, I was on a train on Christmas Eve and it was a long journey, so it should be allowed, right? That's my issue, is I make allowances, I make bargains, I bargain with myself. I'm on a train, it should be allowed. I had a book, I could have read my book. 6 hours, that's a book. But no, I had to make a deal with myself. But yeah, I'm not going to put it all the way up to the camera. I'm going to try and zoom in my editing software, sorry if I can't, but this was a week later and my screen time was 3 hours and 23 minutes. 48 minutes on social, which was probably Reddit and LinkedIn. Information and reading, that also might have been Reddit, but it was definitely the news as well. Utilities, I think, is my camera. 22 minutes on my camera, that's not too bad. And I don't know what the rest of it is. If I look at the weeks, my daily average from this week is 3 hours 17 minutes, down 11% from last week. Last week's was 3 hours 41 minutes, 3 hours 6 minutes the week before that. From the 22nd to the 29th was 4 hours 3 minutes, and that was, you know, the first 3 days were like 6 hours and then the others were like 2 hours because I was at home doing stuff. So it has made a difference. It hasn't got it down to where I would like it, but it's been a really good starting point for me to see that deleting Instagram and Facebook is not enough. I have an order of preference. It seems to be Instagram. If I can't do Instagram, I do Facebook. If I can't do either of those two, I'll do LinkedIn and Reddit. And I'm also seeing the times of day that I'm doing this. It's how my alarm goes off at 5, but I spend an hour scrolling in my bed. I could either just set my alarm for 6 and get straight up, or I could like have my little 5 o'clock morning routine that I talk about up here. I keep convincing myself that I need LinkedIn because I do the whole LinkedIn thing. I'm quite prolific on there. I think I don't need that. I think I can do that on desktop only. I don't need the business world in my pocket. And I think Reddit is also a problem. So number 2, the second thing I'm doing, which you've sort of just seen me do there, is weekly screen time check-ins. And I don't mean like obsessively every day checking my screen time or checking it and being like, oh, I'm already over, oh no. I just want to see trends. I just want to see where I'm spending my time when I'm on my phone. I want to see if I feel like I've had a good week, have I actually had a good week? If I feel like I've had a bad week, have I actually had a bad week? Where did that time go? So things like, if I'm out vlogging, obviously my screen time is going to be really high, if I use my phone anyway, because I'm going to be on my camera. Or if I'm out somewhere, I went to go see some really fun lights with my dad and my stepmom, and I was taking a lot of pictures, so obviously my screen time was higher. I like to edit pictures before I post them on Instagram because I don't like the way my camera just sort of automatically edits stuff. All my video thumbnails I do on my phone. So that's gonna, if I'm doing more video work, there's gonna be more screen time, which is fine. I just need to know where I'm spending that time, because social media is insidious. I could swear that I haven't used social media today and my screen time is going to tell you a different story. So I'm just checking in, seeing where I'm at. Third thing I'm doing is I have a reading goal, because I know that I love reading, and that's a hobby I know that I have, and I want to fill the little slots where I would be on my phone with a book instead. So you can see my little pile there that doesn't fit on my shelf. I have two different kinds of books that I kind of read. Let me explain that one. The ones I read in bed are fiction mostly, or they're stuff about like druidry, things that I want to read for a long time. And then I have like little non-fiction books that I can read in like 15-minute chunks without losing immersion. Because with like a fiction books, I'm reading Butter at the moment, and I cannot imagine reading that in 15-minute chunks because it breaks the immersion. How are you can't like dive into it. So I've got these little commuter books where like I can read them in 15-minute chunks, and it stops me from scrolling on my phone. I'm doing a reading instead, and it's all very interesting topics. I've read Space on Earth, which is about how by studying space and environmentalism in space, it actually helps environmentalism on Earth. That's very cool. Weird Medical Stories, that was just a book that I had, and it was interesting. Didn't learn much, but it was entertaining. I just read a book about inclusion, because a lot of my disability outreach stuff falls under the inclusion field. Being able to just read that in little chunks is great, and it's a really good stand-in for being on my phone. The fourth thing, going analog. When I say I'm clawing my life back from social media, I actually don't mean I'm doing a digital detox. But there are things that, because I do them digitally, it brings me into proximity with social media. For example, my shiny new alarm clock. Oh my god, it matches my hair a little bit, that's cute. I have to have one of these now, I think. I haven't used it yet because this arrived on a weekend. I'm gonna put this on my windowsill, and it's loud and it will annoy my housemates, and that will get me to get up and turn it off as fast as I can. And once I'm up, I'm not going to be scrolling on social media, but I tell myself that in order to stay awake and not just roll over and go back to sleep, I need to scroll on my phone to keep me awake. See? Bargaining. So that's gonna get me up and out and off my phone. My backup for if that's too much for my housemates is to have a digital alarm on my phone 5-10 minutes before this clock goes off. So it will wake me up and I will know that I have to turn off my ding 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 before it goes off. And then obviously going analog as much as I can. E-readers, it's not really my thing, so physical books are great. Notepad and pen instead of my notes app. Basically, if I can make a switch to something that's not on my phone, I will. The exceptions being my camera, some of my mobile games I'm quite fond of. It's important to note that it's not necessarily about reducing screen time per se. So for example, video games is fine. If I'm bored and instead of playing on my phone, I want to play Stardew Valley on my Switch, that's fine. Because that's a hobby. I'm doing something that's not doom scrolling. Making videos is a hobby, so obviously I need a screen to do that. I need a screen to take the video in the first place, and then my laptop, I edit on that. Switching from my phone to video games or laptop, that's okay. That's okay. We're not at that point yet where I'm trying to do a complete digital detox. It's just the social media part, because I need to have hobbies and do things that are fun. Number 5, because I still want to post on social media, I am using like scheduling apps, because number 1, it takes away the immediate hit of dopamine that I get from posting. I get an equally large dopamine hit from scheduling something, but we'll cross that bridge. It just means that I'm not on the app and I'm not posting and going like, oh, I'll just see what else is on. I use an app that I cannot scroll through. I'm only scrolling through my own scheduling posts, and it's also really good for adding alt text. It's much easier than the actual app itself, and it just isolates it, so I can still do this fun thing that I like without being sidetracked into just like, oh, I'll just see what so-and-so's doing. Oh, I'll just see this. Oh, I'll just do that. Oh, I'll just. Number 6, the 6th thing that I'm doing is something that I started a long time ago. I run a series called Cell to Singularity Bingo, and it's basically a really long bingo card based on my favourite video game called Cell to Singularity. It is an evolution-based clicker, And you go from like primordial soup all the way up to colonizing Mars. There's a dinosaur region, there's the beyond, which is like the universe and everything in it. And I created that list to get me off of my phone, and it does work. That list has actually taken me into other countries, which is something I never thought I would do. So I'm continuing with the Cell to Singularity bingo. I am gonna plan some trips to some local museums. I'm gonna use it to plan holidays and do like actual research of where I want to go next, which I think is really fun, and it beats scrolling on social media. Number 7, I'm gonna be remembering what my hobbies are. This means I'm gonna be going out to events to try new things. I did a paint and sip. I actually do have some painting supplies, so I might start painting some things. I might find all the bits for my keyboard, because former piano player, I do miss it. I still cannot believe I traded playing piano for scrolling on my phone. I really can't. I'm so embarrassed. I'm gonna read new books. I'm gonna try new things. I've been learning languages, and I'm just gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna get my record player up and running. There's a guitar over there. Might learn how to play it. That's a flute. That's a drone flute, actually. So I'm going to do all of these things and just be a bit more fun. So when someone said, oh, what do you like to do? I don't have to answer with, I scroll on my phone 10 hours a day. Number 8, I'm going to romanticize my life a little bit more. I've seen this trend on YouTube, and in the process of my coming off social media, I don't really consider YouTube as social media, but I have been swapping my short form everything content for long form get off your phone content. And I've seen the trend for romanticizing your life, and I'm gonna give that a try. I haven't started it yet. I'm gonna give it a go because it looks really interesting to like set the mood, put like a candle on, dim the lighting, make a nice cup of tea just to reply to an email. That looks really fun, and I think I will get a dopamine hit by making a big deal out of whatever it is that I'm doing, that it will make me want to do it again and do more of that instead of being on my phone. Number 9, I'm gonna keep small lists. So I found this actually really helpful in the past couple of weeks, is when I come home from work, I have a list of like 3 things that I want to do, and they're not all productive, some of them are. One of them will be like, so if I come home on a Tuesday's a cooking day, so my 3 things might be like cook, empty the dishwasher, read a book. 3 things. Very easy to do. Just keeping these little to-do lists so that I have things that I want to do. So I want to pick up my phone. Nope, can't do that because I've got other stuff to do. And then I have like a auxiliary list of, if I've done that list and I'm bored, here's some things to do. And number 10, meal planning. That will take me anywhere from 1 to 2 hours because I get a vegetable delivery box. It tells me what is coming, so I can base my meals around that and create my shopping list based on a smaller section of stuff. So meal planning is really interesting. I didn't think it would relate to my social media issues, but it does. This is kind of off topic a little bit, but I have so many notebooks. I'm doing this thing this year where I use what I have. I use my stuff. So I have a huge collection of notebooks, and I dedicated a whole notebook to planning meals I can do 2 weeks at a time, and I have decorated the notebook. I've got loads of stickers that I never use, and honestly decorating the notebook and choosing the stickers was way more fun than the amount of time I would have spent scrolling on social media in that time. So that is my goal. That is the things that are currently helping me claim my life back, claw my life back from the grips of social media. It's working. Some of the stuff I haven't fully implemented yet. Some of the stuff I've implemented because it was working, and we're just going to see. It's going to be an evolving process. But this is my 10 tips of where to start getting off of social media. And again, I don't count YouTube as social media yet. That's the end of this video. I will, at least at some point, there will be a check back in of did I claw my life back? And we'll do analytics, I might do some stats, I might run it through GraphPad. It'll be in the future. We need to see this happen long term. This is just where I'm starting. So, like this video if you've liked it. Drop a comment down below if you have any questions, or if you have anything that will help me if these things don't. I need a backup list of another few things. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do talk about much more interesting things, like being allergic to cold, literally. Gay stuff and non-binary stuff and disability stuff, and there's a pagan altar over there and I talk about that too. And ring that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a new video. Videos go up whenever I feel like it throughout the month. See ya. You know, the first thing I did after just clicking that button, I grabbed my phone. I don't know why. Didn't buzz. Oh boy, I'm in it bad.